Welcome to the Pocatello Business Podcast, the only Pocatello podcast focused on providing profits for Pocatello people. If you love our town and love small business, you are in the right place. We interview local legends, learn business, and have way too much fun doing it. You're listening to the Pocatello Business Podcast with your friend, host, all-around great guy, and owner of New Clean Commercial Cleaning, Spencer Ward.
All right, everyone. We are back again with the Pocatello Business Podcast with the beautiful, accomplished Mariana Lacombe. How you doing there, Mariana?
I'm good. What about you?
Good.
Good. Awesome.
So Mariana, she's a founder and CEO of Quantum Evolution. She's a serial entrepreneur and investor, and she's also on the Forbes Council, Coaches Council contributor. So that's pretty cool. So she's very good at dealing with the mindset of business people and helping them get to the frame of mind they need to be in, and to help them grow their companies as well. So Mariana, did I get anything wrong? Correct me if I had any false doctrine in that introduction.
You're absolutely right. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Before we get into the nitty gritty of you and what you do, I better take our quick sponsorship timeout, because Pocatello Business Podcast is sponsored by Pack and Go. And if you enjoy having a pod brought right to your house, if you need something stored or move to another location, they conveniently drop off a pod at ground level. You have all the time in the world to move everything into it. And then they come and have a professional driver load it back up and drive it to wherever you want it to be, or they store it for you. It makes it super easy. So if you need to get a hold of them, call Darren at 208-339-2229. Again, call Darren at Pack and Go, 208-339-2229. So Mariana, thank you for being on the show. This is kind of a low-level show for such a big star of your caliber.
Oh my goodness, look at you.
So I just appreciate you being on. And Mariana, for those that don't know, she's been my mindset coach for a while now, and she's just been fantastic. I'm not going to talk about how many times I've cried in front of her, but that's a different story altogether. She's good.
But that's a good cry. I always tell you it's a really good cry.
Well, good. So Mariana, kind of introduce yourself, maybe just talk about quickly just about your family, your hobbies, before we get into the fun stuff. So, and this is fun still, but
absolutely, yeah. So I'm Brazilian, first of all. So I come from Brazil. I've been living in the US for the past 6 years. It has always been my second home. So we decided to move with my family here to really change our life as well. Lifestyle was something really important. And that was exactly when I decided also to leave my corporate career in large corporations to be fully focused on coaching. I've always worked with so many different business owners and also people in leadership positions, managers, C-level directors, right? And I always saw how difficult it was for people to achieve results when they were only focused on the strategy. And they could have the best strategic plan process in the world. They could hire the top consulting companies out there, and things that doesn't work out well. And we would do lots of mergers and acquisitions as well. So, and I would hire many people. I don't know how many people I've hired, thousands. And I always had this conversation with people and noticed that they always wanted the company to provide something that they didn't have. And the leaders wanted to implement a strategy without really acknowledging the human factor. And the human factor is in the mindset, right? So imagine trying to change the hardware of things without changing the software. It really doesn't work well, because it's the software that actually makes you perform. So I started working, well, first of all, as a client a coaching client that really transformed my life. And I'm like, wow, I really want to do exactly this for everybody that sits in front of me, virtually or in person, right? So
Sure.
we always worked virtually. And that was what I decided to do. So literally moving here, uh, being in the US actually forced me to be fully online and working with clients from so many different places. And it allows me to enjoy my hobbies, which are, traveling, being with my family, freedom, total freedom of location. I feel like that's my ultimate thing, be able to travel. So yeah, so that's like my story.
I love it. I love it. And those who are out there that are thinking mindset coach, I've, you've probably heard of consultants, and they're good for the strategic part, like she was talking about. But man, there's so much difference. And how long? I guess we've been almost a year now, coming up in November, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you guys, it'll change the way you live your business life and even your personal life. It just it brings more meaning into what you're doing, and like she said, it helps reprogram your software. So
Yeah.
yeah. Mariana, what's do you notice, like, maybe is there three or a few major hangups that you see uh, generally with business owners that you come across?
Yes. Well, let's see. I think it really depends on uh, their, like, where their company is, like in terms of growth. So if you're like, if you have a startup, then you're going to have different challenges. If you have a teenager company, right, like a company that's kind of still growing but not really understanding if it's a startup, and then now, like, it's when a company is it's starting to implement specific processes and really investing in people. And there are some more mature companies, young adults, let's say, that are growing financially with more people, more responsibilities, and some companies who are already aging as well. So it really depends on where a business owner is. Normally, I feel like it doesn't matter where you are in terms of growth. Every single business owner wants freedom. That is the thing. The kind of freedom, it may vary, right? So it can be freedom of time. Financial freedom is a big one. But normally, as you grow, you can have financial freedom, and therefore you don't have freedom of time or location. So it becomes a problem again. So that's kind of, as I was saying, it changes what you really want, right? Does it make sense? I feel like you went through like some of those stages as well of
Oh,
freedom, right?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then I feel that, well, freedom of time is something that can be easily fixed somehow, because you can have people helping you out, you can have systems, you can have also a mindset to focus on the things that are your priority. Freedom of location, I feel like this is one of the most positive things of COVID, because it really put people to work virtually, forcibly working virtually, and many industries are shifting fully to working online. Freedom of money, okay, as well. So it's something that we can work on very quickly, right? You just have to improve your revenue, and then normally being able to manage the company well so that your income increases equally. Um, I think that the most challenging freedom that I feel that is like one of the key things that I work on in mindset. By the way, those are all topics that we talk about when doing the mindset work, is the freedom of being themselves fully, right? So as a business owner, sometimes people want to have a business because of family expectations, or like using some people to compare themselves with, right? So seeing other business owners as successful, and then they try kind of to create a persona, like a business owner persona, that hides most of the things that make them feel really, really happy and excited. And that is where the deep work is actually, like really figuring out what you love to do, the way you like to do things, the way you love to do things. Like it's all uh, designed for you, not for other people or society or whatever, right? So I feel like that's the ultimate freedom, freedom of being yourself fully everywhere with no masks, like being the same one that you are at home with your kids, with your spouse, with your loved ones, with your friends, and do business and grow as a business owner. I feel like that's the ultimate freedom that many owners have no clue about, that's the source of like uh, pain or stress. uh, but then normally when we can get to that point, it's phenomenal. So I feel that we can easily work on finances, money, piece of cake, time, piece of cake, a location now much easier with technology, especially. But then freedom to be yourself, that's a whole new thing,
It's
you
true.
know?
It's true. I'm glad you said that because, and I went through a phase in my life that I was, when I go to work, it's all business, it's professional Spencer. I didn't like him. So, but I
It
figured
was
that's how,
boring, right?
and that's how it was boring. It was by the book. And I'm like, I don't like this person. I don't like who I am. But I was being told to do it. That's how I should be doing it. And I'm like, no, like I'm naturally a goofball and I like to have fun. So why wouldn't I want to have fun at work? And you help me understand, like why are you doing that? Why are you trying to be someone that you're not? So that's been huge. So
Yeah. And it's awesome, isn't it? That like to be
yeah,
able to have fun
yeah,
and be yourself and be goofy, and just be yourself and laugh all day long. It doesn't need to be boring or serious, right? This is who you are. So that is really phenomenal. And I feel like also when business owners achieve that level of financial freedom, time freedom, location, and freedom of self to be their true self, they also allow themselves to relax more.
yeah,
Business owners, they usually have a very lonely journey, and that's why I love to do what I do, because you become that like the partner, the guru, the advisor, right? To walk with the business owner and go through the journey with the business owner, because it's a lonely place. I feel like as you grow more and more and more, less people will be like you, more people will be different than you,
yeah,
um, and you take the leadership and you have to be strong for everybody. So who is strong for you? And that is like my big role, being that the right hand of business owners in terms of course, the strategy is key, but having the foundation, which is the mindset work that has to happen. Everything is mindset.
yeah.
Everything is mindset. um, there's no other way. So if there's anybody here kind of trying to avoid the mindset work, thinking it's the woo-woo stuff, but it's actually not, because it's really it's the thing. If you talk with all successful people in the world, they will agree that the mindset is everything.
Oh, I can't agree more on that one. But I think we train ourselves, and I think you help me understand this too. Before, you're all strategic and you're not thinking mindset wise. When bad things happen, and because businesses aren't perfect, things happen. Customers aren't get angry at times, but I think what we do is we when things like that happen, we train ourselves. Okay, with if this happens, then I've got to react this way. And I used to take things really hard when certain things happen, and now I'm like, well, is there anything from Mariana's coaching help me understand the why behind everything I do? You know, um, Now I ask myself, okay, what is there anything I can do right now? Is there anything I can do to make this different and to change the outlook of this situation? And if there is, great, I'll do it. And if there's not, and I've done everything I can, at that point, you just got to let it go out of your head and enjoy the rest of your day and not let it bring it down. Have your wife storm off and get mad at you because you're no fun to be around. So
That is true. Yes, you got this.
yeah,
So I think that when you have this understanding that there are better ways to deal with strategic issues or problems because you have a stronger mindset, everything is easier, right? So there is no reason to feel so stressed out by things in business, because there's always something great about anything. And that is my favorite question: what is great about this, right? So if there's any challenge, anything that feels like there's no solution, so what's great about this? I feel like it's a question that really triggers many great things. First of all, you will immediately flip the switch to find a solution. You can be grateful for a challenge. You put yourself in a better state, a resourceful state, and then you have a better answer. So even if there's no solution, but there's something great about this, so you're already winning. There's no way you're going to lose anything.
Exactly. I love that. I love that. So, well, let me take one more sponsorship time out, and then we'll have one or two more questions, and we'll end this thing. So,
Okay.
Again, we are sponsored by Dell's Outdoor Advertising. And guys, these guys, if you want a billboard, talk to these guys. They're here in Pocatello and Blackfoot. But there's nothing better, when people are driving around, especially a lot of people live their lives in their cars. Nothing better to have some top of mind awareness than a good billboard that's giving a direct message that's easy to see and it doesn't have 20,000 words on it, So if you want to do that, give Rob a call at 208-232-6886. And if you sign up for 3 months, he'll give you the installation for free, or your first month for free if you mention the podcast. So, Mariana, back to you. Is there anything I didn't ask that I should have about what you do and the impact that you have on others?
I don't know. You could have asked so many questions. The impact that I have in others, that is a really great question, because I feel that we choose a career path that is connected to our purpose, right? So, and we talked a lot about this already, right? About your purpose. Ultimately, because I started working so early, and I could see myself being successful so early and having it all, but feeling like I had nothing. That is the kind of pain that I don't want anybody else to feel. So that was why I mean, the work that I did with my first coach really changed everything for me. And then I achieved a whole new level of freedom. So that is something that is my goal, because I know that is ultimately what we want. We want to be ourselves. And many business owners, they want an exit, a way out, not necessarily selling their companies, but that can be it, but not being the business anymore, right? Because if you want to be yourself and you see the business is you, or the business it's not going to run by itself without you, then there is this conflict of identity too. And it's difficult to enjoy life really, fully, freely, right? So I think that's it. I feel like my impact is to show business owners that there is a way to be free, and business is a vehicle to get there, not the final journey. It's a very powerful vehicle to create massive impact. And things happen actually very quickly. It's very quick. Like, it's not something that takes forever if you have strategy and if you have the right mindset. Oops, my camera. My camera fell off. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. This is my Italian part where I move my hands like crazy and they keep hitting stuff. Yeah.
No, that's great. I love it because you've told us over and again, that your company, you don't serve your company, but your company serves you. And
Yes.
that's one thing that you go from a startup that you're like, no, I've got this is my baby. I've got to serve this thing, day in and day out. And at the beginning, you do have to a little bit, but you get to the point that you're like, okay, I've had this problem happen so many times. Why don't I have a system put in place so I can actually relax and do other things that's going to help grow my company? So that's the thing that I see with other business owners, even myself sometimes too. Still, we've been doing this for a few years, but there's still things that come up. I'm like, why don't I have a designated system of exactly how to get through that problem?
Yes.
And it all comes down to everything that's going to go on inside there. So. Mariana, I appreciate you coming on the show today. I forgot to ask you if you are taking on any other clients, is that something you're looking for more, or are you looking to take on more? Or?
Absolutely. Well, there are two ways that I work with people. So one is doing like a one-on-one process directly with the business owner. So that is my private coaching process. And then also my company provides a very systemic approach to growing companies so that the business owner can have this exit strategy, right? So we do not only mindset coaching, but also consulting. We do accounting. We manage the finances as well. And that is something I have the perfect combination is when the numbers and the people are in alignment. So if you can take care of both, then the business owner can do what the business owner should be doing, which is to be generating cash money for the company and for himself or herself. So there are two ways to get my help. One, my personal help as the guru that I was talking about, having Mariana as your guru, but also having the systemic approach to the company itself, not only helping the leader, but also kind of diving deep and being part of the company as well.
Awesome.
So this is what I do.
I love it. What's the best way to get people to get a hold of you if they want to start signing up for your services?
Sure. Well, so I'm easily found in any social media. So you can just search for Mariana Lacombe and send me a message. I'll be very happy to connect with you guys. My email is mariana@evolvewithquantum.com. And you can always reach out to me and I can immediately set up a call and discuss how I can help you guys.
That's right.
So we can do that too.
And remember to tell her if you do reach out to her that you heard from the Pocatello Business Podcast.
So please do that.
Why look good for once, guys? Come on.
Yes, that would be awesome. And I'll let you know, Spencer, for sure.
All right. Appreciate it. Well, thanks for being on the show, Mariana. Hopefully we can get you on the show, as a reoccurring segment every, 6 months or so, if that's something we can work out in your schedule. So.
Absolutely. I would love to. It's really awesome to see you creating this podcast and, expanding the impacts that you have with your business, now helping so many other business owners too. So I know this is one of your purposes, and it's really awesome to see you being yourself and letting other people see yourself, your true self, having fun and constantly adding value to people. So this is really awesome. Thank you for having me here.
I appreciate it. Yeah, you're welcome. So thank you guys. And Mariana, we'll see you again, I'm sure, in the future. But until next time, guys, welcome to the Pocatello Business Podcast. Keep downloading, keep listening, and sharing it with your friends, and give us a nice review or rating too. So, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.
Congratulations on spending a couple minutes getting just a little bit smarter, having some fun, and supporting the Pocatello business community. If you are feeling the love, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you are.